How is it going, guys? Malagant here. So, just a small pitching in here about like basically which character I've selected to play in the season. I just ended up doing a run 1 to 20 under 1 hour on the Druid, and in fact, it's going to be the Druid that I'll start with. I'm curious about the seasonal journey. There are like some chapter rewards that are going to be offered to your character as you complete the chapters of the season. If you come over here into the codex, you'll be able to see that like within the filter there are seasonal aspects as well. So these seasonal aspects are going to be only available during this season, well, in the codex, and you know, in the next season there will be like different things perhaps. So in this season I think the Druid is, you know, given pulverize, I think at chapter 2, which is around like level 25, that you can easily complete the entire requirements of it. So then you get like the pulverize aspect, and then that's going to be unlocking the pulverize build with like a shockwave, which is going to be pretty interesting. If you would like to, like, I think while I'm making this video, the upload is still continuing, in fact, to the YouTube about like 1 to 20 under 1 hour. I have ran with this character with like a tornado and poison creeper, and the pulverized build is somewhat about the same. Actually, you just remove the tornado, you take the pulverize completely, and then you take a couple of like earth skill upgrades, or like passives I should say, and then you're pretty much good to go. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll be playing with like tornado up until like 25 or something, get the chapter 2 complete, and then respec to pulverize and see where it's going to be taking me. It's a little bit surprising that like I'm in fact deciding on Druid, because like 2 days ago I wouldn't have, like before seeing the patch notes especially, I wouldn't have guessed that at all. Nowhere near Druid whatsoever, but now it is what it is. I believe like sorcerer, so maybe it's a little bit like the same offensive power perhaps as it used to have, which is not crazy, but it's not crazy nerfed either, but it is still as squishy, if not more now. So it was already pretty frustrating to play how squishy sorcerer can be, and which is also like pushing you to play with like 3 defensive buttons or something if you would like to do very hard content. You know, I'm gonna pass for now. I'm okay with that one. I was playing a barbarian whirlwind, which is very satisfying to play. I really like it, but they also nerfed that one too a little bit. In fact, you know, you don't necessarily put slows onto the enemies if they're not healthy anymore or something, which, you know, definitely deletes the crowd control damage increase that you can get from various different sources. So therefore, like, your single target is going to be suffering. Perhaps the map clear is not going to be as suffering as much, but like, I don't think the whirlwind required any sort of nerfs. If anything, it should have probably been buffed a little bit. But it's pretty easy to speak like this. My heaviest concern about the patch notes, as I mentioned on my other video, is the undocumented changes, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody finds out that like whirlwind is the best build in the game, and you're like, oh, so it has been buffed. It wasn't even in the patches. Like, I legit wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens at the end of the, you know, next week or something. Definitely fully expecting it. That being said, what am I gonna do with my Druid? With these, especially 1 to 20 leveling videos, I've gotten a couple of comments on both YouTube and on my Twitch. I'm streaming daily, by the way, and I would really like your company if you would like to come by. It's twitch.tv/Malagant. You can during the Europe daytime, you can see me playing the new season. Please come by, definitely. So that said, the comments that I received was like, you know, you're not necessarily simulating exactly the same season launch, because like you'll be missing 5 skill points because you're not gonna have this tier over here. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but the content is still there for you to like figure out. You know, it's going to be a good content for you to like basically see the leveling build is going to be the same. It's a good leveling build, hands down, at least the one that I figured out. And at the same time, it's going to be, you know, for your alts, it's going to be very good routing as well. Besides the fractured keeps, in fact, like well, fractured peaks, my bad. It's in fact like almost the same routing when it comes to like getting the extra skill point. It's just that like, other than spamming the Caldera Gate, you can do something like Nostrava Deepwood, and you can do a Molewood, which are like very good and fast dungeons. And you're going to be that way, just like getting the skill point that's offered from fractured peaks anyways. But that being said, guys, please remember that like on your first character, unless you're racing or something, in my opinion, before getting to world tier 3, like you shouldn't be spamming a dungeon anyways. What you should be doing with your first character, again, what you should be doing is just like fixing your renowns for your account once and for all in that season with the first character. Yeah, simply because like with the patch notes, as we discussed on my long video about the patch notes coverage, the world tier 3 and 4 is heavily gutted when it comes to the experience that you're going to be gaining from normal world content, such as like, you know, open world, side quests, and dungeons, normal dungeons. So these things are going to be granting you, in comparison to before, up to 50% reduced experience or something, assuming you're level 60 on world tier 3 and above, of course, and then assuming you're 75 and above, I think, on world tier 4. So all these things are going to be like heavily penalized when it comes to like the experience that's rewarded to you on those like normal content. So, which, you know, the normal content is what is needed for your renown grind for these completions. So you would rather do these in the world tier 1 and 2 on a new character. And at the same time, on a new character, as you know, our Codex of Power is resetting as well. All these aspects are going to be going away. So we're going to need to like hit them one more time. I think so, at least. So that being said, you would rather like collect those too, and while you're collecting those from like various different dungeons, you're going to be fixing your renown, and you're going to be getting very good experience in world tier 1 and 2, and you'll be opening your waypoints around the map as well. So all these things combined, please, by all means, like, don't do one dungeon spam to, you know, level your character up, because later on you're going to be punished by it, for sure. That's also what I'm going to be doing. I made some sort of like a list of things, list of dungeons that I want to hit with my Druid on my first character. But as I said, like, the Fractured Peaks is somewhat about the same run, honestly, like just running Molewood or something on the side, and that's it. Like, it will be completed that way. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And the season launch, I'll probably like fix my renown first, and then afterwards perhaps like do a little bit more grindy stuff and try to get myself to like a very high level as quickly as possible. But the launch of the season is not the greatest for the Europe, so we'll see like how long I can play on the launch, and then I'll probably be sleeping a good while and then play like a full day on stream instead the next day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one, YouTube. Enjoy season 1.